NYSO began in 2022 after the current CEO of NAPCAN, Lisa Waters, reached out to me. She had this brilliant idea for years and years, and we decided to work on this project together.
Well, NAPCAN is about elevating the voices of children and young people. So the Youth Advisory Council, because it wasn't named NYSO at the time, was really just a platform to go, if we're really going to do this in a meaningful way, then we need to have young people in the organisation.
I joined NAPCAN Youth Speak Out because I thought a lot of decisions were made about the youth that didn't involve the youth, and we were impacted on a daily basis. So I thought, you know what, it's time to include young people, and I could be one of those young people, and I could represent my community, young people in general, and just start.
Where I come from up in the Tablelands in Far North Queensland, I was part of a little town council youth committee. I really liked it, and I really wanted to come change things in a more of a national kind of calibre.
Well, for me, it was something that my school brought up to me, and especially being in a leadership space, there was a lot of change that I wanted to make in the world, and I realised that I couldn't really make that change unless I was involved with youth advocacy groups and older people who are very wise and had resources in order to connect my ideas and make them into tangible realities.
What motivated me to join was that I got to learn about domestic violence and how to solve it, and how the effect is on other people.
We are a diverse group of young people that sort of come together and yarn about all these relevant topics and issues or concerns that we have on a community or national, even international scale.
We originally had aimed for about 12 members, but what we ended up was with 20 young people because we could not decide who out of this amazing group that we should bring on. And I am so glad that we went down the path of having more people rather than less, because it allowed for such a breadth of diversity amongst the group. In September 2022, we all met right here in the Human Rights Office and had our very first meeting together as a group.
I think that joining NYSO has given me a real sense of purpose. I had all of these aspirations for advocacy and so many passions, and I didn't really know what to do with those. And so I feel as though joining the council and being a part of NAPCAN as an organisation has really given me such a strong and blessed vantage point to be able to, I guess, enjoy and relish in so much professional and personal development.
Meeting people from all across Australia and hearing how different laws and legislations are different, varying from state to state. Just learning how to effectively communicate with people, and then from there finding a centre point where everyone's ideas are incorporated and everyone feels like they're participated.
I've never felt so safe to speak so freely and just have this unspoken level of understanding with everybody in the room.
There is just such a beautiful space for connection to grow and to blossom, and I feel really safe in this space. And I was saying this to you before, I don't think that you could force an equation to get a group like NYSO. It's made me realise that I don't ever want to not work on a team where I feel this way.
I think we're really blessed with a really great group of young people where they're so actively engaged in policies and what's happening even on an international scale.
So there is people from all over Australia, and what they basically do is they feed back into the work that NAPCAN does, whether that be our Respectful Relationship program, whether it be including the youth perspective in policy, submissions to government. What is also really interesting is that they actually work with other NGOs as well. So sometimes NGOs reach out to us, and to ensure that their work has the youth perspective and is collaborated on by youth as well.
To me, advocacy is a very deep personal journey. It's hope. It's feeling as though I'm able to establish a community of kindness and collaboration, but ultimately it's really about envisaging a future where every individual, regardless of who they are, what they look like, feels safe, heard and amplified.
To me, advocacy consists of two parts. So the first is expanding your knowledge base through research and talking to people in your community and just hearing all their stories. And then the second part is amplifying those voices in a really ethical and respectful way.
Just to utilize whatever stance or platform or privilege or opportunity you have to help anybody and advocate for anybody. I feel like we as people generally underestimate how much we can do professionally.
To me, advocacy is a platform for my voice, coming from a background where I felt that I was silenced as a child. So I feel like advocacy gives a platform for youth to feel heard, and definitely for those children that are told they should be seen and not heard.
Decisions made by the adults also affect the kids, so they should have some sort of say.
If we kind of all chipped in, like adults and kids, to make the decision, I think it'll make it better for both sides.
Well, I think it's important for your voice to be heard because you're important as a person. So it's really important to find a space where, your values can be seen.
There's so many problems in the world. If no one speaks up, we can't really solve them.
I think it's really important because a lot of these young people, whether now in the present or in the future, will most likely be affected by these decisions. So their voices and opinions would have a say in the overall decision making.
Young people are the experts, but so often they have adults speak on behalf of them and make choices for them that might be well intentioned, but might not actually be what the young people need. And young people are so disempowered throughout their regular lives. Young people can't vote. They don't have a lot of power in their workplace if they have a job. They don't have a lot of control at school. They're told where to be, when to eat, what to wear, all those sorts of things. And so young people need an outlet where they can express their thoughts, can express their opinions, and tell people in a position of power what they really need.
Involving young people early on can create a sense of empowerment, engagement, and responsibility, which they can then foster in their future careers and figure out what they want to do later on in their life.
It's funny when we talk about measuring social impact, because social impact and cultural change can be really hard to measure, particularly in the immediate here and now. So sometimes we can be a little bit viewing too far beyond that we forget to just reflect on what has this meant for us and how that person is then going to change and have more opportunities that will then go on and affect change. It's kind of like that butterfly effect.
The professional development of the NYSO is something that our funders, the Vincent Fairfax Foundation, are really supportive of. And one of the good things about NAPCAN is that we have lots of opportunities, and different members of the NYSO have different interests, and we've been able to match a lot of that interest in various platforms such as conferences or speaking at webinars. We've got a lot of members. We're in Sydney this week, and a lot of the young people have never ever been to Sydney.
My responsibilities are to be a person who the team can come to if they need support, and who can hold space on the outside sometimes just by being there in our online meetings, as well as be a point of contact if anyone needs any mental health care.
I think my proudest achievement so far as a CEO has been the establishment of NYSO. It's a lot more work than I possibly could have ever envisaged, but it's also incredibly rewarding. Whatever lane NYSO does go down, it will be youth-led, and it will be informed by them, and it will be prioritised by them.